it.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Neil Thrussell, and I'm so happy to have Mike with me, Jamie with me, Kim with me, and Asma with me. Thank you for being here. And I'm just going to go in that order. Introduce yourself. Go with Mike first.
Mick Scottney from sunny Mount Isa, Queensland, or not so sunny today. And I love at the moment what's going on with the opportunities for people to step up and be leaders in the world, and to show that the world doesn't have to be all doom and gloom, and there's lots of awesome stuff happening in what's and the really awesome stuff that's going on in the world, and the mindset that people are showing, and we just want to share that with the world. So thank you very much for having me on again today, Neil, and look forward to it.
You're welcome. Jamie.
Awesome. My name is Jamie Adamchuk. I'm coming to you live from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I have my own company, UE Coaching, where I work with people all over the world to really close that gap on where they are to where they want to be. Neil, thank you so much for bringing me on today. I can't wait to rock it out with this amazing group of people that we've got here.
Thank you. I love his radio voice.
I know, me too.
That's awesome.
I love Jamie too, but yeah, it's good. And on my Kim's down here. Kim.
Hi, Neil and everybody. Thank you so much for allowing me to be with you today. I'm super excited to be here. I am a transformational confidence coach, really helping people to develop a deeper sense of confidence from the inside out. And often that has something to do with a little self-love, a little, self-worth and healing, and allowing things to be released so you can really stand confidently in who you are, regardless of what's going on around you in the world. And in addition to that, I host a podcast called Every Day is a New Day. And I'm just happy to be here and love what you're doing here, Neil. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And last but not least, live from Victoria, BC, Asma.
Hi, everyone. Hi, I am Asma. Thank you so much, Neil, for having me here. I'm so happy to reconnect with Kim and meet Jamie and Mike. I am a business coach and women empowerment mentor. And basically, I'm an advocate of feminine leadership, and I work with women, helping them launch their dream business from their essence, from their zone of genius, and doing it from their feminine way, and connect to that beautiful divine feminine energy that is so much needed in this world. And so I have this, I don't even call it a business, it's a movement. And I am just like wanting people to join me in it. And it's called Fire and Flow. It's really having that beautiful balance of the masculine, the feminine energy, and the way we're doing it, because the world really needs that beautiful balance. And so I'm super excited to be here and connect with all of you, and let's get rolling.
Yes. Wonderful, thank you. And I just quickly threw it out there. My name is Neil Thrussell. I'm with Best You Can Be. I am a purpose and passion, empowerment, enlightenment, life coach, and sometimes an author when I actually make the time. I've got 3 books on best-selling books on Amazon, and prior to this, I was actually writing, which is surprisingly good for me, because I'm working on 3 books at the same time. If you are thinking about writing, don't do that. It's crazy. Do not write 3 separate books. And I loved what Asma is doing, because she's empowering women. And one of my books, I write spiritual fiction, is around there's no protagonist in the spiritual fiction, spiritual realm of spiritual fiction and spiritual learning with women as the teachers. Or there is, but there's not many. So I'm endeavoring to write with a feminine protagonist. So enough of my writing. So who wants to go first? What are you doing? What are you doing to stay positive in this absolutely crazy time? I'm drinking coffee.
Go for it.
And I saw Kim raise her hand. Okay, Kim, jump in.
You know what? First and foremost, this is such an amazing time to be checking in with ourselves on a regular basis. And so that's absolutely what I've been practicing. I will not acknowledge that, a couple of weeks ago when a lot of this kind of really hit home a lot, just more so than it had for me personally, it was like, whoa, okay, I'm feeling that. And so that really brought home like, wow, okay, this is an excellent opportunity to cultivate, a more consistent practice with what's going on with me, mentally, emotionally, and, it helped me to shift, where I'm placing my focus, where I'm, what's getting me off track, right? And what can I do about that? It can be so easy to think that we don't have control over anything, and we always have control over ourselves. And so that's what's really, supporting me right now. And I think this is just such an excellent time to, to be doing that. So that's my first answer.
Wonderful.
Mic drop.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're done. Thank you.
And I love what you're saying, Kim. It's now, and it is a bit of a shock that first few seconds, and it's okay for people to acknowledge, like, holy like there's a bit going on right now. There's a lot happening in the world, and it's okay to go, whoa, I need to just take stock for a sec here. And you don't have to be fully in control every second of every minute. It's okay to go, wow, there's a lot going on here. But then you need to, like you say, check in with yourself and say, right, what's the opportunity here to steal Jamie's catchphrase, or what can I do to myself to make sure that I'm in the right mindset to step forward. And it's really, really important that people check in with themselves and go, right, what can I do right now? Just what's the next right thing to do here? What's the mindset thing that I can do just to make sure that I'm in the right mindset? I'm positive. I'm putting the best version of me forward. So it's super important, and that's one thing that I've done as well, is sort of check in and go, all right, well, what do I need to do here? Okay, in a business set, I need to step up and be a leader and create some certainty for the people that are around me in my team, and these are the things that I've got to do. So right, let's do it. Let's step up and be a part of that right now. Like that's, and that all come from that check-in, like you said, and that's something that's really, really, really key, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely, for sure. And to tag into that, Kim, you make such an amazing point, is simply seeing that there's opportunity here right now. We are rife with opportunity. It is all around us. Yeah, there's some things going on in the world that it's not the greatest thing. But if we sit and focus on all the things that are maybe holding us back or pulling us down or whatnot, we're going to really start to take that on ourselves. We're going to really start to feel that, when instead all we really have to do is shift that focus. Get it into that place where we're discovering those opportunities. There's that word again. When we're discovering all the amazing opportunities around us. Look at the 5 of us coming together. Look at us having this amazing opportunity to be able to get on here. What's really great is today, this is actually my 5th time on video today, if you can believe that. Prior to this, that would never have been a thing, right? The world has literally moved on and put us in a place to open up opportunities like this. I don't know that any of us would have really thought about it before, but now that we know we've got to get this message out there so much, this opportunity is what's created for us. So that's it. Opportunity. When you seek it out, when you turn on that reticular activating system in your mind, you'll find it. Great example, us right here, right now.
That's beautiful, Jamie. There's this beautiful principle in appreciative inquiry: what you appreciate appreciates. And then, so if you look for more opportunities, like the opportunities will be out there. Like for me, like it's just like the questions that we ask, exactly like what you said, right? It's just like another principle in appreciative inquiry. The first question is faithful, meaning the moment I'm going to ask you a question, your environment will completely change before you even answer me. And so the way we ask the question, if I just told you, how are you today, Mike, versus saying, tell me about a high point moment or something amazing that happened to you in the last 24 hours. Your mind will automatically go to that place where it's like valuable, and you're going to try and find all those little signs that will tell me when was your high point moment. And so again, it's all about those opportunities and the questions that we ask ourselves and the question we ask others. And yeah, it is an opportunity also for leaders, heart-led leaders, to step up. Because a lot of people that I know, I don't know about you, but all the amazing leaders that I know, they love to be hidden and like behind the screen and just post from time to time and be like, I don't know who's going to listen to me. So now is the time. Now, like, this is the time to serve. So go for it. Show up. Be there. Be seen. So
Wonderful.
we are here.
Yeah, it's like we look at I know when I look at my Facebook feed especially yesterday, I don't care what color is the image of the picture that I'm going to do, but I recognize that people are trying to connect, and it's their way of reaching out and connecting. So instead of me getting mad or annoyed or just going click, 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 click all the way through, I personally choose to reflect on that they're reaching out in their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like my father is not a big phone talker. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, and he wants to hang up. Well, he's very social. So this COVID-19 is just about killing him because he will talk to anyone in any store, any location. Well, he has no one to talk to. So when that phone rings, it's like you might as well be comfortable and sit your butt down because you are not moving for a while.
It's really, back to that word opportunity. It's really opening up the opportunity for people to connect more with themselves as well. And just like everything has that ripple effect, the more we connect with ourselves, the more it inevitably opens up space for us to have even deeper connections with other people. And on that note, I love what Asma was saying about questions. It's like, it's not necessarily about having all the answers and how am I going to fix this? How am I going to make it better? I should probably do something right now, right? Like what a heavy burden that is. And like simply just posing a question like, what could be a potential solution right now? Like what is something that I could do, right? Or what is the opportunity for me right now? It opens up that space for an answer or an insight or something more to flow in. And so it's just, I see that it's really supporting us and allowing ourselves to, be present and also just be that receiver, like receive the answer versus thinking you have to create and do the answer. There's a little difference there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Kim, you bring up something really important there. The whole principle concept behind receiving. It's as though you were listening in on some of my coaching calls yesterday, because that's one of the very principles I spoke about is being able to receive. Now, here's the real key. And here's where we, the group of us, can make that difference, because I believe that many of us, the message that's being sent out there, whether it's through the media or all the doom and gloom, there's some negative messages being received. This is where we get to have this gift of spreading some of that positivity, of being able to help people open up to simply the idea that there is opportunity out there, that opportunity is rampant, and all we really have to do is open up our minds to be able to go and find it.
Yeah, that's true. And the other thing that I see too, it's also that opportunity for more empathy. Like right now, like everybody is in self-isolation and social distancing. Every old person that lives alone have been living in isolation and self-distancing. So we are experiencing right now what they have been living their whole life. And so I am hoping like that people will be taking this opportunity in terms of having that empathy. And when this is over, because it will be over, then they will be like open to finding new ways of how to connect more with people, having better connection. Like I call myself a connection catalyst, and I chose that title on purpose because I realized that people forgot how to connect with each other. And now with COVID-19, what do you think is happening? Like people are I've never been in a Zoom call where there were 50 people dancing together, singing, we are in this together, and crying and looking at each other's eyes. I haven't seen this before. It just happened this week. So now people are learning to connect. So opportunity is there. It's just amazing.
That's I really like that. I just touch on that a bit more and it's the opportunities like that to connect with people And again, lots of different people, things that have never been or hadn't been thought of before. One of the guys that I know, he's an NLP trainer. He's doing an NLP training, a virtual NLP training, running his seminar virtually. That wouldn't have happened however many years ago. That actually creates more opportunities for more people to be involved, more people to attend, because travel and restrictions and distance and things, like I live in remote Australia, so travel and distance is a real problem for us. It's 2 connecting flights and $1,500 to get to Sydney from where I live. So if there's a seminar in Sydney, that's 5. That's a big step up in travel and logistics. So having these opportunities as someone now running a virtual, it then opens it up as an opportunity for me to be able to attend that, and other people in more places in the world to be able to attend. So this has really shifted people's perception that, okay, well, I can just run that online now, and then more people will attend, and you get the same outcomes, and it's really good. And I think it all stems from, just to touch on what you said before, Asma, about the questions. It all just stems from the questions you ask yourself. And instead of him saying, well, all right, I can't run my course, what do I do? I'll just wait it out. It's like, okay, how can I still serve these people? All the questions he asked to come up with these solutions to be able to deliver this stuff. So it's fair. I think it all starts from asking yourself a different question, or just changing how you ask that question, because it really shifts your mental energy. Instead of going, how can I go, well, what's possible here? Or just shifting that question slightly, it really just shifts that energy around what you can do. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
What I've also noticed in people, and I think it's beautiful, is the recognition of personal distancing now. People, you can find respectful people, and you see all the personalities. If you encroach, you come in within 2 centimeters of what their perception of 2 meters is, or 10 feet. But you see, and in most cases, not all, but people are learning, and in some cases respectful. Some of their languaging might not be respect, but their personal distancing. And for my wife, who is a consummate hugger, this is just killing her.
I know.
I feel her pain. I'm a handshaker, so you walk up and shake someone's hand, and you walk up and you're like, I can't shake your hand. There's a whole mental battle going, damn it, I have to walk away. I can't shake your hand.
Yeah.
That is such a great point, Neil, about learning how to respect others more in a way that maybe we hadn't considered before, about personal space, and the 6 feet or 2 meters, it's not just for me, it's for them too, right? And so what does that look like? And then also being mindful of, oh wait, I can, maybe your perception of 6 meters, because no one's necessarily got 6 foot measuring tape right in front of them, right? So maybe you're feeling like, okay, that feels good, but the other person is feeling like, ooh, that's too close. And so allowing ourselves to just kind of tune into ooh, you know what? Okay, I think that person, they might be feeling a little uncomfortable. What can I do to just kind of step back and alleviate that and be in connection in that way, in terms of, not only what do I need, but what might that person need right now? How can I really support us both in being comfortable in this time? I love that point that you brought up.
Absolutely. And what I love about that is, we are right now, the skill that we need to build more than anything is emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And
why did you look at me like that?
I didn't look at you. I was looking at the camera. All of you. It's and then it's what we talk about here is emotional resilience, right? In terms of asking permission before sharing anything, then asking permission before getting closer to someone. And did you know that the normal person knows around 12 emotions, and there are over 3,000 emotions in the vocabulary? And so what I love doing lately is really playing these emotional intelligence card games. And it's really helping a lot of people want to release those emotions and talking about them, and also connecting to, I feel an emotion when I think about something. So that way they're learning to separate what they feel versus what is the assumption that they are making, because it's always about the story that we are making. And it's also that asking for permission. So exactly with the social distancing. So playing and starting to learn how to manage our own emotion and talking about them, and how we can share that with people in our environment, and having that empathy when people are in self-isolation and how we can brighten up their day is like incredible skills that we're building. So EQ for the win.
Absolutely. And to touch on empathy a little bit more, what we also have to recognize is that if that person that, we believe we've got the 6 feet, we've got the 2 meters in between us, and that person doesn't, and if they come across in a way that we might normally find, offensive or abrupt or something, this is where we can really put on that empathy even more, because we don't know what's happening in that person's life. Right? Maybe they've got someone at home that they're taking care of. Maybe they've got someone at home that's elderly or something, or that's in that population that's more susceptible. When each and every one of us learns to practice that, really learns to embrace empathy, to have understanding, let maybe some of those negative things roll off of us like water off of a duck's back, to not let it have that same effect, that's when we really get to win. That's when we can go out of there feeling and knowing, hey, I gave it my all. And even though that person, they were frustrated or whatnot, I showed them that understanding. I stepped back. I did what I ever had to. Maybe it makes that person's life better.
Yeah, that's so true, Jamie. And to touch on that a bit more, and that's something that I've been sharing in my businesses and with people, is just you don't know what's going on in their life. So rather than be on the offensive straight away, just show that empathy and be understanding and go, well, yep, okay, they're a bit upset or whatever's going on. I don't know what's going on in their life. How about you ask what's happening? Are you okay? Or wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
being
ask
curious.
that question and it changes everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Asma just said it beautifully. Be curious.
Yeah.
I believe that if I take the time out of my life and get out of my own way, and I become curious about the 4 other people on this call, the call takes on a different tone and flavor to it, other than me standing here, I'm the. It takes on an entirely, and our lives change when we become curious. And somebody said heart-based in the beginning. When we become curious from a very heart-centered or heart-based place, and not just rule and rote. Oh, so I'm curious. What do you do?
Absolutely. So there was something that Asma said earlier too about, you talked about what we appreciates. I absolutely love that. That's going to stick with me for a while here. But the other piece about being mindful of how so many people are now, I got to look at the camera. So many people are now having the opportunity to experience something that other people, such as people who may have been living daily in, say, a senior home or anything like that, getting to have a completely different life experience now. And what this is, I know it's brought up for a lot of people as well as for me, is gratitude in ways beyond I was even just naturally seeking or already experiencing gratitude. For instance, something as simple as, it's been a while since I've been to the store now, but last time I went to the store and just being like mind blown at how fortunate we are here. I'm in Southern California, how fortunate we are here to be able to go to the grocery store, walk down, the cracker aisle and go, there's, 20 plus different types of crackers. Which one would I like to buy today? And now only having 2 or 3 options, like, ooh, like that's not the end of the world. And it's something as simple as that, and going, wow, we are so blessed with so much abundance in ways that we may not have even been able to pinpoint before. And there's an opportunity there to connect more with the heart in those little things. When you realize what you had taken for granted is no longer there, and wow, so fortunate for all that we do have.
Yeah. And that's a significant mindset shift right there, Kim. Thank you so much for bringing that up. That mindset of abundance. We are, all of us here being able to do this, we are some of the most fortunate people in the world to have this. Let's face it, there's places in the world where people couldn't do this, where they don't have these choices, where they don't have this amazing abundance. That's really what this is. But they don't have that same amazing abundance that we have. Even if it is only 3 cracker choices instead of the standard 20, that's still abundance because you've got choices, right? We have to recalibrate ourselves. And I really think that's what's happening in the world right now, is it's giving us this amazing opportunity, there's that word again, this opportunity to really recognize, hey, we're blessed. We're in such a beautiful space and such a beautiful place. And even when I've only got those 3 choices, my gosh, I've still got it.
Yes.
We are fortunate.
Yep. And that's probably one of the biggest, I think, positive things that's going to come out of this whole debacle is a mindset shift around a bit more gratitude and a bit more appreciation for what we actually have, because lots of people now having all these things that they took for granted away from them, and now they're starting to really appreciate those. So that's probably going to be one of the biggest opportunities. Oh, all the neighborhood dogs are barking. Sorry about that.
You know what? I take that as they're in agreement with us. They're like, yeah,
It's
rough.
You finally got it.
The animal kingdom agrees with us.
Yeah. Like, Mick, you got it, brother. You got it.
And I love that, yes, lots of people reacted negatively, poorly, but then through all of this, and now you start to see the true goodness in people. Your neighbors are offering, they'll phone you, hey, do you need something? Can I get something? Or they'll just phone to say hello and ask how you're doing. We just got brand new neighbors to one side of us, and I don't think the moving truck, I don't think even slowed down before my wife was out the door going, hi, welcome to the neighborhood. She kept her social distance and that, but it was, that's her way of connecting with people. And I'm so impressed with, now that we've had a little time get used to what could be a new norm for a while, people are starting to calm down and reaching out and offering kindness to each other.
Mm.
Yeah. And that might be one of the biggest. Go ahead, Mick. Go ahead.
Sorry. That's something I've noticed is a lot more kindness, and even on social media and on different platforms, and even in general, everyone's more understanding and there's a more kindness, which is fantastic.
Yeah. That might be one of the biggest things we get out of this whole coronavirus is, it's not to take away from any of the people that have, suffered the hardships or the people that have passed away. It's certainly not to take away from that, but to recognize maybe how it is changing us as a society, how it is opening us up to those opportunities of how to give back even more. With my clients, when I've been coaching them, one of the first things I said way back when, middle of March, early on in March, is find a way to give back. Find a way to contribute, even if it takes you out of your swim lane, if it, re-engineers some of the way you've been doing some of your business, take that as an opportunity, because now is that time. Now is that time to get out of your own way, look how you can give back, and look how you can make that even bigger difference. That's who's going to be remembered after this is all done.
I'm feeling really bad. What was the name? Was it Michelle? Who lost her, was on the first call, who shut her business down.
Bailey Tobin. Yeah.
Bailey. Yeah. I don't know how I got Michelle out of that, but Bailey, what a wonderful example. She was an entrepreneur, owned a high-end furniture store, chose to shut it down, and then then chose to go and create and find hand sanitizer to give it to the people that needed it. So in her own crisis, she still rose to the occasion to help another. It was so wonderful and so inspiring.
That's a beautiful story. Yes, one of the quickest ways we can help ourselves feel better is, what can we do to help someone else feel better? What can we do for someone else? It's wonderful how that works.
Yeah.
It reminded me of this research. I think it was done in Vancouver, where they gave people $5 in the morning, and they told them, go and get yourself something, a treat like a coffee or something, and then we'll call you at night and ask you a question. And then they went to a different group of people. They gave them $5 and said, go and do something nice for someone else. And then at night they called them, and then what they realized is that the people that were used the $5 to give it to someone else or make someone else happy were happier and had an amazing day than the people that just went bought their Starbucks coffee and then they went on with their day. So there's something that happens in our brain and our hearts when we serve others before ourselves.
Absolutely. My friend Eric Mortimer, who's a real estate agent, he calls himself a change agent. So he's wonderful real estate agent, but he also does personal growth and personal development seminars. A year ago, he took $1,000 out of his bank account in $5 bills, and they went downtown and tried to give them away. So many people just walked away because they thought that there was a hook or a hitch to $5.
Isn't that interesting? It goes back to what Jimmy was talking about receiving. And I love receiving because it's a feminine energy trait, and we need to learn to receive and be open to allow the receiving. And a lot of us don't even allow it. Like, I remember very clearly, like when I do workshop for women, I call them play shops because then we play a little bit and it's fun. If one of the women tell the other person, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful, I love your hair," the woman starts crying. And I'm like, whoa, nobody died. Like, everybody is nice. She just gave you a compliment. And the woman's like, yeah, but I know, but it's just like, what? So I literally almost stop everything. I'm like, okay, for the next 20, 30 minutes, we're just going to receive compliment from each other. Like, let's go. And you'll see the cry and everything. And why? It's because they're not allowing themselves to receive, right? So like they're denying that side of themselves. And when you don't allow yourself to receive, then like you're missing in so many opportunities and so many beautiful things, and you are robbing other people who wants to serve you from that opportunity and that amazingness that they want to feel by serving you and supporting you. So receiving is the key.
That's so true. When you suppress those parts of yourself, those beautiful parts, it takes up so much internal energy that you can't use on something else to give to someone else, to help someone else. Just that internal energy is just eaten up by trying to suppress that receiving or those other traits that you're trying to hide away. So that's one thing that you like, you have seen it, that when they open up, that they just they feel like they're so much better. They get that so much more energy, more release.
And because they feel like they are in a safe space to do it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it goes back to what Jamie talked earlier about empathy. Because sometimes what empathy is, you're not here to solve the other person's problem. All you're doing is giving them a space and a safe space for them to just feel the feels and be and sit there with them when they are feeling that, so they can feel that they are connecting to someone else. But a lot of people think, oh my God, if this person is telling me about all their problem, I need to find a solution and I need to say something. But what you're doing there is like you're course correcting. You're trying to show, like you're trying to coach them, but they're not asking for being coached. They just want someone to sit with them, understand, and be there with them in that space, in that moment. So there's so many beautiful little skills that were already there within us that are just now expanding, like the receiving, seeing opportunities, our empathy, our curiosity. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time.
Certainly.
Underneath all of that, what I find sad, that's the better word, is that we have got to the state in our world that we cannot, it's not safe to give random people compliments, or we've shut down that we disbelieve in compliments. Oh, what do they want? What do they want?
That's an interesting point, Neil. I did a little experiment a while back. I was taking a course. I was in a course, and being married and stuff like that, it's not really supposed to compliment other women and other ladies and stuff. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this because I'm more curious. There's no subliminal messaging or anything behind it. I simply wanted to give some genuine compliments, like, wow, you look beautiful today. Your hair is so nice. Like legitimate, honest, from the heart, real, true compliments. And I think even though, the people, they received it, they're like, oh, thank you so much. I think I actually got more out of it because I got to say what I really, truly wanted to say. And I was able to feel good about that, to truly express what I wanted to feel. That ties into the gift of sometimes people just want to be heard. Yeah. Sometimes the biggest gift we can give is simply to hear, not to fix. right?
Yeah.
Men, we always want to fix things. We're the tinkerers, right? We want to go and fix. Ladies, do you like being fixed? Do you like being fixed?
No.
Sometimes it's just about being heard. Now, I still have to practice this. My wife, sometimes I still want to fix her. That man brain gets in the way.
It's like,
Right?
Not
It
you,
still gets
Jamie.
in the way.
No,
I know it does.
no.
But where we can give back even more as a species, a whole entire human being species, is that gift of really hearing someone, of really listening, of giving that time, giving that space, holding that space to be able to take in the beautiful gift that person's sharing with you.
Jamie, I'm curious. When you were doing that experiment, did you feel like that you needed to explain yourself when you were giving?
In some places I did, yes. Because I thought, oh my gosh, well, I just simply want to tell this person she's beautiful. Nothing behind it, nothing surreptitious or anything. Just simply, wow, you're really beautiful. Wow, you look really nice today. But that belief, that thing that was in my mind all the time is, gosh, are they going to think that I'm, doing something or I'm hitting on them or something like that? So I did feel that, yeah, maybe there's a bit of an explanation required behind this. And I did catch myself doing that several times. Yes.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Yeah.
And I wonder on what level maybe those women actually really secretly were desiring to hear that from somebody, and you picked up on that. So what a beautiful balance of giving and receiving, by you giving to her receiving it, and by her receiving it, that actually gives that satisfaction back to you as the giver. So that's also what I really see is this balance and flow that shows up. Again, this opportunity of time of us learning how to connect with ourselves and connect with others and be in that flow. And as part of this, this was coming up earlier, I'll just say it, about checking in where, if we do find that we're being resistant to what's an example? Here's what I want to say about taking things personally, right? So someone on here mentioned earlier about, this person said something and, this impacted me, but wait a second, maybe it has nothing to do with me and everything to do with what's going on inside of them, right? And so for us to be mindful of, oh, wait, did I just take something personally that really even wasn't about me? And just having that awareness can also lead to that balance and that flow and shifting of easing the energy as we are all, learning how to live in this new norm right now.
Yeah. It reminds me of the 4 agreements.
Yes.
Right? Like, don't make assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what it comes in about emotional intelligence and emotional resilience. This is what I feel when I think. Like, I feel sad when I think that you moved back when I just gave you a compliment. Right? And then, and all you're doing is you're stating and you're creating that awareness within yourself about your own emotions, because you need to connect your emotions, have that awareness about them so you can release them. And a lot of people don't even do that. They just shove them down and just keep them and they just keep going. And because now it's this time of people are forced to slow down. That's why it's really hard for a lot of people. I am lucky that last year I chose to slow down. It was not easy. It was like a roller coaster, but it was an amazing spiritual and personal journey for myself and for my growth to connect to who I truly am and my own zone of genius. And that's why my woman empowerment came up very strongly. Before, I was working with tech companies and CEOs and doing $1 million deals. But I was good at it. That was my zone of excellence. It was not my zone of genius that was fully aligned with who I am. And you only get that if you connect fully to who you are and your own emotions, and accept the light and the shadow. Like, a lot of people like, I unconditionally love myself. Yeah, right. But you need to love yourself in every step of the way, like the good and the bad. And we appreciate the good and the bad. And when we were talking earlier about appreciation, we can still talk about problems and we can reframe them together into opportunities. But it's just the way, the words that we are using and the intention that we're setting when we are creating and starting that conversation.
Yeah.
So, quick question. Are you verbally, to your friends and family, does the words "I love you" roll off your tongue easily? Or is there only select little groups that you say "I love you" to?
Well, I've got some family with us live, or at least they were a moment ago. That's a great question, Neil. To me, I love you rolls off my tongue. But yeah, I have noticed in my personal life, it doesn't necessarily for everybody else. Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know how else to answer that actually.
For me, it rolls off the tongue in my family circle easily, like nothing. But outside of that, like probably not as easily, I can say. It probably doesn't roll off as much. So yeah, it is a very interesting question. I've never actually thought of that. But in my family circle, that doesn't even register. It just rolls off the tongue. Yep, I love you. But yes, now you've got me thinking about outside of my family circle, Neil. So thank you.
I think here's the thing, Neil. So this is a great question because, we both have a mutual contact who her thing is to tell everybody, family or not, I love you. I love you. And and I love her, but I will admit that for someone other than my family, it sometimes can feel just a little like, I don't know, maybe a twinge of awkward or different, or, I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little different. But I will admit that lately, specifically this last week, I have actually felt more inclined to start saying I love you to strangers. And that's not the norm for me. So I've even had to go, wait a second. Okay, where's the block that, is like trying to resist this? Because I know that now's the time to allow that to flow as well. So that's a fantastic question, Neil. I love that you even have posed this.
And it's fun because I can easily, Jamie and I, we're huggers in that, and we're to toss from it, and I can easily say to Jamie, hey buddy, I love you. Yep. And he will say it back to me. But then in my own personal life, there are my family. My dad was like, oh, go away. He never says that word. One sister is like, it's okay to say it. Another sister is like the sign of the cross, and you leave me alone with your love words. And I got a brother who's like, yeah, okay. In Tina's side of the family, if you don't say I love you, you've just slapped them across the face and you've hurt them royally. And I have a 9 to 5 outside of what I do. And that slips out with some of my coworkers. Oh, Neil, you just love me too much. And I can just honestly say, yes, it's true that I do love you. So I think it's because we paint what love is in crazy little definitions and little blocks. When we truly love a person for being the person, how can we not say it?
Yeah, for me, I say it all the time, and I say it to everyone. And my thing with myself is I only say things that I truly mean and feel. And without realizing it, like I literally say, I love you to people. I love you, Neil, right? Because I know you. I love you, Kim. So nice to see you again.
Love you, Asma. Nice to see you too.
I love you all as well.
We're Care Bears.
The big love fest.
Yes. But see, the interesting thing is I'm originally from Morocco, and no, there's no I love you. Like, you crazy? No, you don't never say that. And so I had to teach my mom that. Like, and my mom now lives with me, and now when I tell her I love you in the morning, she replies back, I love you too. She learned to not just say you too. Like I told you, not say that, say the whole word. And so it was like getting her to get to that point. But before, from the religion and the culture, it was a taboo. You don't say I love you. Like it's already, we already love each other. Why are we even having that conversation? Right. And it's interesting too, because I speak Arabic, French, and English. So before, when for me, I love you meant I am in love with you. And so even sometimes my mom said, what, did you just tell that person you love them? Like, I'm like, I didn't say I am in love with them. So what does that mean? Like, she still have a hard time understanding the difference, because we hear in the movies, I love you, and that's what it is, right? And so like, it's quite, I think it's something that is caught, not thought. So the more you see people around you saying it, and you feel it, and you connect to yourself, I think then you just can easily say, I love you. So, yeah.
And that's really big, because even for myself, there was a time when, heck, I wouldn't even hug. I didn't grow up in a family that was all huggy or anything like that. So to express those kind of emotions and everything, it was no, I wouldn't do that. My life has changed dramatically over the last 7, 8, 10 years. And now it's all about that. I will tell my clients I love them. I mean, Mick and I, we had the opportunity to get together in Brisbane. I flew down to Australia. We got together. First thing I did is we gave each other a great big hug, right? I can tell him I love him. I can tell everyone I love them because it's coming from a place of higher connection. Remember, that's one of our human needs. We need to have that love and connection met. And if we can all do our part by really telling something, you know what, I love you. I love the person that you are. I love the being that you are. I love the soul, the spirit, everything about you. When we can share that out there, it makes the world a little bit better place.
So true. I have a friend, he always tells people, I bet you everything that I can make you cry. And people are like, yeah, that's like, I take the bet. Yeah, show me. And all he did, he would just hug them and stay there and stay there. And stay there, and then you start seeing them shaking, and they stay there, and then they start crying, and then they finally hug him, and he was like, great, that's it. People just want to be hugged, and they don't sometimes just like that, hey, hi. No. When you meet me, when I hug you, like I fully hug you, and we hug for a while, heart to heart. I'm really have this technique that I'm gonna come and go like this side, so our hearts are connected, and I will hug you. And people will always like, oh, I love your hugs, right? It's like, yeah, everybody should hug that way. Like I think we need to do a course, a master class in hugging. I think that would be cool. By the end of COVID-19, everybody will know how to hug.
Absolutely. Tina and I have done free hugs day here in Calgary, and one of the rules with free hugs is you always ask. And it's fun. You will see those that are gender phobic, that no, men don't touch and whatever. And then you'll see those that it's like you've just been engulfed in some kind of bear hug, and hopefully you can get your way out of this. Because they're just so loving. It's like hugging a giant teddy bear, and it's just great.
Neil, I love what you just said about always asking for permission first, because what that brings up for me is it reminds me of a quote by Morgana Ray. I don't know if she'll see this, but she has a quote, and if I botch it, I apologize, but it's to the effect of, change happens at the rate of safety. And so being mindful of, what's comfortable for you may not be for someone else. And so what can we do to really foster, a safe environment so that people feel like they can, step into that space of being more open to receive love, to feel love and give love. No emotions are bad. No emotions are inherently bad, but we all know what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And so if there's someone that can identify, gosh, I'm tired of feeling awful, but I maybe for some reason don't feel like it's safe to step into a space of actually allowing myself to feel better. It's like no one has to force themselves to do anything that doesn't feel good. And so what can we all do to really accept people where they are in this moment and just allow there to be that space for people to feel into what feels right for them? So that's what was coming up as you were talking about that.
I just thought I'd forgotten about Morgana. She's got to be another one we got to have on this show. Another beautiful soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the show. I'm kidding. Sorry.
I'm done. So as change makers, heart open people, what I want us to do is to make sure that we're spreading love. So you, the listening audience, know that we love you for who you are. There's no baggage attached to our love and how good you are. Yes, Mick's giving him a good hug. We love you for who you are. And we see you with all your pimples, warts, and perceived foibles. We still love you in spite of your worst nightmares of all your faults and flaws. You are an incredible and an awesome person. Anybody want to add?
I agree. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Uh-oh, we lost asthma.
Well, there you go.
That was a great Frozen frame, though. It was awesome.
I know. I felt my phone and I got a FaceTime, so I declined it, but I guess I got it.
It was great. It looked like an action-packed hug. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was editing my camera and it was black. I'm like, no.
Oh, that's funny. That's really the message here, is to spread more of this, right? We've got enough of all the other. Let's spread what's really amazing. Let's spread what we all need more of. The world can always use more love. And if it takes the 5 of us, the 10 of us to exponentially and geometrically grow this message out, then it started from a beautiful place. That's it. Let's take this. Let's make this all about that love, about sharing, about making that impact in the world to combat some of the other stuff that, heck, we're not even going to talk about. Let's get more love out there.
I love it.
Beautiful.
I learned this little technique from my mentor, and I have these 3 coins. And every day they are in my desk, and every day I flip them when I send love or appreciation to someone. Or I call someone and I have a conversation with them and I appreciate them for who they are, what they brought to my life, or I say I love you to them, and then I flip it. So every day for 30 days, you can literally have 3 coins and just like flip them. So that becomes a habit. So by the end of the 30 days, appreciation and love will be like part of your daily life.
Imagine the growth in that if everybody shared love with 3 people every day.
Yes.
Imagine
Let's
the
start
impact
it.
that would make in the world. Let's start the movement.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. What is one thing besides coffee that everyone is grateful for? Right here, right now. What is one thing that you're grateful for?
Water.
That's a beautiful one, yeah.
Movement, that I can move.
I'm grateful for having fresh food available all the time.
I'm grateful for having all of us here today, being able to share this message out. I truly am.
I should have made you go last, Jamie. No, because I'm grateful for heat, because it's minus 24 Celsius in Calgary, or 20 in Calgary today. So I am eternally grateful for heat. Then we could have said Jamie's.
I was just going to add, I'm grateful for all those who've been here with us today, because this conversation did not just stay amongst us 5. We know that we at least reached, what do we have here, like 7 or 8, and all those others who are watching with us as well. It's just, it's like we're all connected. We're all being part of it to create this momentum and expansion of the energy of the conversation. So, so thank you to everyone who's been here today and being part of that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely.
And with that, everyone, 1 minute short. What do you want to end with? Because it's feeling like it. We're done. What do you want to end with?
Believe.
Nick.
Simply believe that we are on the right path. Believe that this is happening for us. Believe that when we come out of this, because this too shall pass, believe that we're coming into a new world full of new opportunities and new beautiful things, even if it's just us being able to look at things a different way. Believe.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nick. Were you going to say something?
Yeah. I was going to say, and like what Jamie said, this too shall pass, but build on the gifts that we've been given now, and don't just turn back. Build on the gifts and go forward when this passes with all of the amazing gifts we've got, and carry them forward to a better you, a better business, a better everything. Don't just revert back when it goes back. Just carry what we've already got and built, and the really important things like the love, not just the stock of toilet paper you've got because you hoarded it. The love and the sharing love and the more positive mindset, or that that internal reflection. So carry the really important stuff forward after this part.
Thank you.
I totally agree with that. I would say, for me, what comes up is how important this moment is for each person individually, not this moment in terms of everything that's happening outside of us and the news and all that, but like we literally, each person have this moment right now. And how are we making the most of this moment? Like, let's say, life is going to be different and have a new norm afterwards, right? And we are actively choosing right now what that's going to look like by being more mindful of the present moment. There is something that's coming after this. And how are we creating that? By being mindful now. So to me, that's really coming up, as well as allowing yourself to be easy on yourself with your experience. I could go on for about, forever about that. So I won't, but that's what I'd like to leave with.
For me, as you know, like it's about balance, right? And so what came up to me is like another question that you can ask yourself: what needs to die for something new to emerge? Yes. And this is the time. The universe gave us the opportunity to slow down so we can really reevaluate and appreciate where we are in our life and what we want. And you can have this conversation with your future self and be like, how can I use this time, this opportunity for me to have better health, build these funnels and this product or these tools that I was wanting to, but I never had the time. How can I have a better relationship with my family, with my loved ones? How can I carry myself and express myself and my emotions more? Like there's so many beautiful things that can happen. And so like really taking this as this opportunity, because you can only emerge at a better version of yourself if you are aware and let something die. Yeah. And I came across this beautiful poem that is short that I wanted to share with you. I don't know why, so I feel like I want to share it. So this is how it goes. You ask for more happiness. I gave you time to find what makes you happy. You ask for greater health. I gave you time to live healthy. You ask for more money. I gave you the ultimate wealth, more time. You ask to breed. I gave you room to breed. You ask for a better world, and I gave you the space to create it.
That's beautiful.
Very nice.
Beautiful. Yeah. So I'd like to leave with: you are worthy of all your dreams. You are worthy of love, wealth, happiness, friendship, but you need to take a risk. You need to be the one to risk. Be the first one to say, I love you. Be the first one to try something new. You need to risk. I encourage you to risk, because love is worth every risk that you ever take. We all have learned to love more by the love we have lost. And so I do not want to lose anyone that I love, but to learn to love more, I'm willing to be all in. And so I ask you to love fully, deeply, and with all your heart. And Jamie, play us out.
Let's do this thing. I was just, Neil, I was enraptured by your speech there.
Yeah,
I was neglecting my duties. Like, brother, I was right in there. But tell you what, here's that song right now.
So thank you.
I love you all.
Love you all, baby. Yes. That's right. Spread the love.
Keep it quiet, Jamie.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you all.
So nice meeting you, Jamie and Mick. And
You too.